I lost my keys for 45 minutes, and here's what I learned about life. It was Sunday morning. I went jogging. I went jogging for like 4 miles, so that doesn't even take like 40 minutes to do. And waved hello to my neighbor who I saw out on the sidewalk before I went on my way. And so I go out a couple of miles, and then on my way home, I was going to stop at Jewel Osco to the customer service counter to get some quarters so that I could do laundry at my apartment. And I did. And I get back home, and my keys are not in my pocket. And for as long as I can remember, well over 10 years, anytime I go jogging, I hold my keys tightly in my hand. There's pictures of me running foot races where I'm holding my keys in my hand just because that way I knew I was never going to lose them until that day, till Sunday. And I get home, I don't have my cell phone with me. It's locked inside my apartment. And because I have all my phone numbers recorded on my cell phone, I don't have anyone's phone number memorized for me to even be able to call them. And I don't have a phone to call them with. So my whole life was just like thrown into uncertainty, and I had no way. I was standing outside of my own building and I couldn't even get in, and I even had to go to the bathroom. So I mean, everything just got thrown into a like almost crisis mode just because I was missing my keys. So I ran back to the Jewel store, and I'm looking down on the ground, retracing my steps, hoping that the keys will be sitting there waiting for me. And I go into the grocery store to the customer service counter, and the lady who gave me my quarters was busy talking to a Wilmette police officer because someone had committed some kind of a crime, and the police officer was there finding out what the story was. And the lady who helped me was very preoccupied, and she just couldn't help me. And so I went and retraced my steps all the way back to my turnaround point when I went running 2 miles away, trying to find somewhere along the way where I lost my keys. And all the while I'm thinking, in less than 2 hours I needed to be at my job at 1 p.m, and I had no way of changing clothes, and I was going to have to jog all the way there to be on time for my shift. And so all these things, and after I was done working, how was I going to be able to get back into my apartment so that I could sleep? Because I didn't have a phone and I didn't have anyone's number. And I was thinking that, I'm going to have to ask a neighbor for a favor. And I hadn't really talked to anybody in a long time. And, it crosses your mind. It's like, maybe I should have been nicer to everybody, on a day-to-day basis, because I hadn't really been in touch with anybody, even in my own building. And so as I'm jogging along and I don't see the keys, I was thinking about, how, what you think becomes your reality. And all the while when I was jogging before I lost my keys, I was thinking about old frustrations from the past. Like when I was volunteering somewhere, I got socially slighted in a way, and I had this going around in my head that there were these people that I was angry with, and I was frustrated about a family situation, and I've been thinking about that for too long anyway, and that was going through my mind before I lost my keys. And I'm thinking all of this was some kind of punishment by life for me thinking all these angry thoughts while I was out jogging. And so I go back to the Jewel grocery store on my way home just to see if anything had changed. And I go to the customer service counter, and there's a different lady there than the first one who helped me. And she checked, and my keys had shown up. They were outside the building, like in the parking lot, and a kind customer brought them to the customer service window. And so I had my keys back. And all this worrying that I had gone through for that 45 minutes, it just made me realize, well, first of all, how basic your safety is and how fragile that can be. I mean, I didn't have a spare set of keys anywhere. I didn't have my phone. And my whole life was about to be thrown into a lot of turmoil that it was going to take me a long time to fix. And it made me consider, like, were my thoughts leading me to this? And I was so preoccupied, I just let these keys fall out of my hands, which is really what happened. And so even though everything turned out okay, and I was able to get back into my apartment and I made it to my job on time, it threw my life so out of kilter that it just made me wonder, maybe I'm thinking too much about things that don't matter at all. And I wasn't thinking enough about things that do matter. And also, too, I'm going to get a new copy of all my keys and keep them somewhere safe where I can get it without even having to have my phone. But that was the least of my thing. That was the smallest matter of it all. It was just like, why do I think about things that are in the past, that are frustrating, that I can't change, that make me mad? And it leads to things that throw my current life out of kilter. And the things that keep your life in kilter are more fragile than I ever thought. So I learned a lot of things in 45 minutes just by losing my keys. And I know there were other things that aren't coming to mind right now while I'm recording this video, but just 45 minutes of having lost my keys was a profound lesson. And that's why I made this video. Thanks for watching.